Good morning. I'm Karen Hamstra. It's the week of November 12th, a holiday for some of you. And I say welcome to Title Talk. I have several new titles to show you today. The first one is a new fiction book called Calling Major Tom by David M. Barnett. It is a funny, moving, absorbing hot chocolate of a story. A man who has given up on the world, 40-something Thomas, is very happy to be on his own, far away from other people and their problems. But a family who show him how to live. Beneath his cranky exterior lies a story and a sadness that is familiar to us all. And he's about to encounter a family who will change his view of the world. And this is supposed to be the perfect book for book club fans. Maybe that's you. On the front cover it says he's given up on the world, but has the world given up on him. Here's another cute title, Bird, Bath, and Beyond by E.J. Copperman. This is the story of Kay Powell, who's a theatrical agent to non-human animals. That is, and she's bird sitting. Her client is a parrot named Barney, and he's on the set of his new TV show, Dead City. When the show's charismatic star is shot in his trailer between scenes, the only eyewitness to the crime is, you guessed it, Barney. And even though Kay keeps explaining that a talking parrot doesn't actually converse with people, the investigators insist on interrogating the bird for information he clearly can't communicate. This is the second Agent to the Pause series. The second book in the series, and that of course is a mystery. And then we have a historical fiction book called Trinity, a novel by Louisa Hill, who is the author of Speak. This is a novel about J. Robert Oppenheimer, who was a brilliant scientist and worked on the atomic bomb, of course. And he says he loyally protected his communist friends only to later betray them under questioning. He repeatedly lied about love affairs, and he defended the use of the atomic bomb that he helped create before ultimately lobbying against nuclear proliferation. If you like historical novels, you might enjoy Trinity. This one, Melmoth, is by Sarah Perry, and it's just a fiction book. Says, it has been years since Helen Franklin left England. In Prague, working as a translator, she has found a home of sorts, or at least unpronounced sanctuary. That changes when her friend Carol discovers a mysterious letter in the library, a strange confession, and a curious warning that speaks of Melmoth the Witness, a dark legend found in obscure fairy tales and antique village lore. As superstition has it, Melmoth hunts her prey through the ages, dooming those she captures to the damnation of timeless, itinerant solitude. To Helen, it all seems the stuff of unenlightened fantasy. So that's a little different setting and a little different story. Our next book is called A Shot in the Dark by Lynn Truce. Some of you may remember her nonfiction book, Eats, Shoots, and Leaves. It was a grammar book. It was just the funniest book. This is a mystery set in 1957, and it's about a famed theater critic, A.S. Crystal, who has come to a British seaside resort with something other than the production of A Shilling in the Meter on his mind. Sitting in the Brighton Theatre Royal with Constable Twitten, Crystal intends to tell the detective the secret he knows about the still unsolved Aldersgate stick-up case from 1950. And yet, just before Crystal names the criminal mastermind, he's shot dead in his seat. So there's a new detective here, Sergeant Jim Brunswick, who sets out to solve the crime. And, of course, it's probably delightfully written because she just is a delightful author. Then Anthony Horowitz has a new book out. This is a James Bond novel, Forever and a Day by Anthony Horowitz. This is an explosive prequel to Casino Royale. So if you are a James Bond fan, you might well want to check this one out. And Anthony Horowitz is also a very good author. And finally, in the book category, we have Once a Midwife, a Hope River novel by Patricia Harmon. This too is historical fiction. It's about Patience Hester, who's the midwife in the Great Depression. And throughout the Great Depression, I guess that is now behind them in this novel, and World War II has come along. So Patience must support her family. She has 4 children. Her husband is left to fight in the war. And she's got to keep her practice going. So if you like history, this woman also wrote The Runaway Midwife, The Reluctant Midwife, and The Midwife of Hope River. I also have a few audiobooks that will be ready to go later in the week, most likely. A Christmas by the Sea by Melody Carlson. She is quite a prolific Christian author. Glenn Beck, Addicted to Outrage. If you are a Glenn Beck fan, you won't want to miss that one. Dan Vesperman has a new novel called Safe Houses. This takes place in East Berlin, 1979. Here's the new Jeffrey Archer in audiobook form, Heads You Win. And I'm sure this one will be quite popular, Iris Johansson, Vendetta, her new book. So lots of choices, and there will be more choices for you next week. See you then. Happy reading.